What's good, everybody? It's your boy Rope. So I think it's about time to sit down and come up with a set of standards that's uniform for every single fighter. Because I'm noticing that people change these standards depending on if they like the fighter or not. Okay? Let's take a trip down memory lane, okay? Because we're going to talk about this Lomo Rigo shit, okay? But let's take a trip down memory lane, and I'm going to point out some of these double standards, okay? That cannot be denied. What I'm about to say is going to be 100% fact, okay? Now, we're going to use Floyd Mayweather as the first example, okay? Because he's one of the hated fighters, all right? Now, when he fought Marquez, that was a catch weight of 144, right? Mayweather didn't make that weight. He came in at 146, and he was ridiculed for that shit and pretty much discredited for that fight. They said that he was a bitch for not going down to 144. Okay, now, I wouldn't call him a bitch, but I would say if he signed a contract to come at 144, then he should have made that weight. But he paid the fine. That was also in the contract, that if he didn't make weight, he had to pay a set amount of money per pound overweight or something like that. Okay, so I think he ended up paying something like $300,000. All right, could have been more. Correct me if I'm wrong. But the funny thing about that, here's what I want you guys to focus on with this. Okay, nobody said that Marquez should have moved up to 147, even though he ended up fighting there eventually. That all went towards Mayweather. He was the bitch in that whole situation, okay? Because he didn't go down to the weight that Marquez wanted to meet at, all right? Now, let's fast forward to Floyd Mayweather versus Canelo Alvarez, all right? Now, Canelo Alvarez was supposed to have Floyd Mayweather shook to death, okay? He was never going to fight this kid, is what people were saying, because he was such a bitch and a pussy that he was scared of Canelo Alvarez. Canelo was too young, too big, and too strong for him, right? This is what everybody was saying. And I think that Oscar brainwashed Canelo to believe this, right? So they made an offer to Mayweather for a fight at 152. That was their offer. Floyd Mayweather jumped all over it, okay? Nobody said that Canelo Alvarez should move down in weight like they said that Floyd should have did for Marquez. They said that Floyd Mayweather was a bitch because he drained Canelo Alvarez 2 pounds, okay? So when Floyd Mayweather was the bigger guy, he was the bitch for not going down, but when he was the smaller guy, he was the bitch for not moving up. So he couldn't win no matter what he did, all right? But then you guys wonder why we say things like coincidental list and things like that, okay? This is why, all right? If you can't understand that example I just gave you, I don't know what else to fucking tell you, man. All right? But then let's take a look at Manny Pacquiao, okay? Let's take a look at him, all right? Now, when he fought Cotto, that was at a catch weight of 145, all right? Nobody jumped on, well, these guys who jumped all over Mayweather, they didn't jump on Pacquiao and say, hey, Pacquiao, stop being a bitch and just move up to 147, which he ended up fighting at anyway, right? That's the weight that he ended up fighting at, 147. He had several fights there, okay? And when people pointed it out and said, you know what, that doesn't really make sense. 145 doesn't really make sense. It's only 2 pounds. He should just go ahead up to the full weight and let Miguel Cotto be comfortable at his weight, right? We got called racist against Filipinos for saying that, all right? For those of you who are around, you remember the shit just as clear as I do, okay? We were called racist because we said that Pacquiao should just go up to 2 pounds and fight Cotto at a comfortable weight. Okay, I know you guys remember that shit, all right? So you can already see how shit is changed around, all right? Depending on who the fighter is. I believe he also fought, who else did he fight at a catchweight? He fought somebody else at a catchweight. Maybe it was Claudy. I can't remember who. He fought somebody else at a catchweight instead of fighting him at the full weight limit. All right? Perfectly acceptable for Pacquiao. If you said anything about it at all, you hated Asians, damn it. You were jealous of Filipinos if you said anything about his catchweights. All right? Let's take a look at Andre Ward. All right? He was called out by Chad Dawson. Chad Dawson said, I will go down. What was that? 160, I think? I can't remember, man. Was it 160 or 168? It could have been 168. I think Dawson was fighting at 175, okay? He said that he'd go down to 168. Called him out. Called Ward out at that weight. Ward simply accepted, okay? These fucking goofballs said that Andre Ward was being a bitch because he should have moved up to 175 instead of draining Dawson down to 168. Because, see, they didn't like Andre Ward. So they blamed him for the shit. All right? Nobody really gave a damn about Dawson. He wasn't on the coincidental list. So the hatred was for Ward. So he was the bitch because he didn't move up to 175. He didn't volunteer himself up in weight. Even though he was called out at the weight class that he was at that time. Okay? So now you guys are switching again with that. Okay? So now Lomo, he pulls Rigondeaux up 2 weight classes. Okay, this fight could have taken place a while back when they were both at the same weight. Okay, but he moved up in weight. People said that he was avoiding Rigondeaux. So Rigondeaux said, you know what? Just to make this damn fight, I'll move up to 2 damn weight classes, okay? So people said, you know what? Maybe Lomo shouldn't get full credit because Rigo has been inactive. He's the older fighter, and he's moving up 2 weight classes. This is not 2 pounds, okay? This is not 1 division. Okay, this is not no catchweight or anything like that. They didn't meet in the middle or anything like that. Rigo came all the way up 2 pounds to fight Lomachenko, and these fucking idiots are on here acting like that shit made no fucking difference whatsoever. It's perfectly acceptable for Lomo. He should get full credit for this. And if you say anything at all about it, you're a damn hater, you're a racist, and you just don't like Eastern European fighters. You can't stand that Eastern European fighters are doing well in boxing. You see this bitch shit that we have to continue to deal with? You guys need to come up with a set of standards that is uniform for every single fighter and stop flip-flopping around depending on who the fighter is, man. I'm sick of seeing this shit. Now, as far as that fight, to me, that was a shit fight. Okay, nothing happened in that fight. Neither guy did anything to either of their opponents in that fight. Okay, nothing happened. Nobody got rocked. Nobody was seriously hurt or anything like that. The talk of that fight is Rigondeaux quitting. Okay, and the reason why people are quote unquote abandoning him or turning their back on him is because of the way that he quit. This happens in boxing. When fighters quit, fans turn on them. This is not something unique to Rigondeaux. I don't understand some of y'all and what y'all talking about, man. People are still talking no mas from Roberto Duran, a legend, years ago from the Sugar Ray Leonard fight. They still bring up no mas. That's why that's a popular term in boxing now. That's attached to Roberto Duran. People have called Victor Ortiz a quitter. But because you motherfuckers want something to argue about, you're going to say, oh, look at them turning their back on Rigondeaux. He quit, man, and he wasn't visibly hurt. He had no reason to quit, in my opinion. I didn't see anything that happened to him in that fight where I said, okay, I can give him a pass for quitting. Okay, especially all that was said about Rigondeaux going into the fight, about him being a boring fighter, not being able to draw flies and things like that. It was just the wrong time for him to quit. The wrong stage for him to quit on. So I think that he should go ahead and retire, man, because he's not going to get another big fight again after this. Look at what he had to do just to get this big fight. He had to move up 2 weight classes, and people act like that never even happened and shit. And if you simply say the facts of what happened, you're a fucking racist if you're black while saying it. You know? And this is what's going on. I'm not making any of this up. You guys hear these videos, man. Listen to these motherfuckers, man. They're acting like Rigo moving up 2 weight classes didn't happen at all. And that it's just something that we're just pulling out of thin air. If the shoe was on the other foot, Rigo would have been the bitch in the situation. Oh, look at him. Look at him bringing Lomo up 2 weight classes. We're not going to give him credit for this shit. He picked on the little guy. That's what you would have been saying, and you fucking know it, man. You guys know you would have been saying that shit. Don't sit up here and try to lie about it, because we see your patterns already. This shit is ridiculous, man. So, like I say, as far as Rigondeaux, I think he should just go ahead and retire now. Rumor has it that he's already older than what he says he is. And after this, he's not going to be able to make any money. And he's not going to be able to draw much interest after this, after quitting like that, okay? Lomo, I think that his better days, his best days are going to be at 140. I think that he'll eventually be there. People are talking like, you know, it's crazy to ask this dude to move up. You ask everybody else to move up. You ask Floyd Mayweather to go up to 160 to fight Triple G. You said he should have went all the way up to 154 to fight Canelo. You said it wasn't a big deal when he went all the way up to 154 to fight Cotto. Oh, no big deal. You know what I mean? Cotto was a career 147 pounder anyway, is what you said. You find any way to discredit him. Andre Ward has to move up. Terrence Crawford. I remember people saying just last year that Terrence Crawford was being a weight bully and that he's really bigger than what he is and he should be fighting at higher weight classes. I do remember that. I've heard people say that about Keith Thurman, that he was being a weight bully and that he's clearly 154, 160. People were just saying this shit. Okay, but you look at Lomo. Lomo doesn't look that small to me, man. When I look at him, I don't see how he made those lower weight classes, because he already looks like a 140 pounder to me. But if you say, hey, Lomo, we want to see you at 140. Oh, look at these fucking races. Just jealous of the Eastern European. It's like, God damn, man. Can we say anything? Are we allowed to say anything? Are we allowed to talk boxing and do some matchmaking? So I think that Lomo, I think that he'll end up at 140. And who knows, you know, I believe one day he'll fight at 147 or close to it, maybe a catchweight or something like that. But I think that he has what it takes to move up there. Pacquiao did it. Pacquiao moved all the way up. He fought at 150. You know, and you know, just to point something else out, you know, when he moved up and he fought Antonio Margarito, nobody told Pacquiao that he should have moved all the way up to 154. He wasn't a bitch for draining Antonio Margarito. So it just seems to me, if I'm looking at the pattern, okay, and you could call this race baiting, pulling the race card, whatever you want, but if I'm looking at the pattern, it just seems that a black fighter can't do anything right, man. It just seems like the black fighter always has to be the bitch in the situation. That's what it's looking like to me, based upon the patterns that I have presented to you. A non-black fighter can do whatever he wants to do. He can drain a fighter. He can pull a fighter up in weight, 2 weight classes. He could do whatever he wants to do, and it's perfectly fine, and you can't say nothing about it. But let it be a black fighter, and he's always a bitch no matter what. Okay? If I'm lying, I'm dying. Okay? I see the fucking pattern. The proof is in the pudding. Okay? That's my video. I'm out.